Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Live Dominion Great Farms. Today, we are going to be talking about how to transplant your banana suckers. As you can see here, we have a banana plant here, and there are key things you need to know before you transplant these suckers. Now, this is peculiar to your environment. In my environment, I live in an environment where I have goats as well. So I train goats as well as do plantain and banana farming. So one of the things you must know is that while transplanting, you must make sure that you go for taller suckers, because if you transplant and you go ahead to plant with a very short sucker, it will not work because the goats will end up eating it. So what you do is you go for tall suckers that are at least 4 to 5 feet tall before the leaves. For example, this one here is very good for transplanting. You can see it's about, looking at it from the ground, it's about 5 feet, almost 6 feet. This is 6 feet, so this is even well beyond. You can do this. And another benefit of transplanting this kind of suckers is it helps the banana develop and produce banana fruit faster. If you plant a shorter sucker, it will take time for it to develop because there's a number of leaves that have to be produced before the fruit can come, depending on the species you have. So I won't give you much information on that because I don't know the exact species you're using. So this is what we're going to be doing. So I'll be removing it. And another thing you need to know in this farming is that when you're transplanting these suckers, you have to be very careful not to damage the stem. If you look at this one here now, if you look at it, it's gradually beginning to, the stems here are beginning to come out. It's not well rooted in the ground, as you can see. You can see the space here. You can see the space over there. So this one is a very good one to move because it's not strong. If you look at it, it's shaking. If you can notice it in this video, it's shaking, so it's not strong. So this is a very good candidate for transplant. If you look at this, over the years we have been transplanting from this, and you'll find out that some species have come in between the banana plant. So I'm going to be strategically removing some. For example, the ones on the edge, I'll be removing them, and the one behind, which is I'm going to be pointing with my shovel so you get it better, this one. So I'll leave this and this. Why am I doing that? Because they are well spaced between themselves and it will start all over again. And one of the benefits you get is that when you space these things, it helps you yield better. For example, if I leave all these banana suckers here and I allow them grow, these banana fruits, allow them grow, and if they produce, what I will notice is that I will end up having small bunches, which is not what you want as a farmer. You want big bunches. So you have to do this process. It's very, very essential. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Now, if you look at this, I'm going to be working with this one over here. If you look at this one, if you want to remove this sucker, you must be careful not to damage the stem. You don't cut it from this point. You have to make sure that you dig the soil in such a way that you can create some space before you then remove it gradually, not a forceful thing, so that you don't damage the roots. Because if the roots are damaged, you will not be able to grow fast. You want this to grow fast. So the more the root is damaged, it will take more time to develop roots before it starts sprouting out, and that will take time. You want these things to produce as quick as possible. So when you're removing this, you must make sure that you don't damage the root. Try as much as possible. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm making this video all by myself, so I'm not going to be able to show you every bit of this. It's just me here today. So if you look at this, I'm gradually, okay, these are my suckers. So I brought out 3. You can see they are quite big, long, I mean. So another thing you must note is that when you have done this, in order for you to enable this grow well, you must take off the leaves. You must take off the leaves like this. I'll just do an example with this one. One of the reasons why you do this is that when you take off these leaves, you can leave me. I like to leave some. You can do this. You can take off the leaves. Just leave like maybe 1, 2, 3. Why you do this is so that the plant will not focus on keeping those leaves alive. It will focus on the new ones coming out. So when you do that, it's like when you do propping for other plants, when you take off the leaves. The same thing here, when you're replanting it, you prop it, you take off those leaves. So when you do that, it helps the new ones come out much faster than they will usually do. And it also helps it get balance, because when you keep it this way too, with the leaves, it takes time. Now that those leaves have to dry, they have to fall off, it takes time. So when you cut that, you give it focus, it helps it focus. So once the nutrients come from here, it focuses here and not on these leaves, because you don't need those leaves anymore. You just need to start growing afresh. So that's one of the things we do. I'll be doing that for these other ones, then I'll be taking them to where I'll plant them. So let me do that. Let me do for the other ones as well. Okay guys, this is where I'm going to be planting my banana suckers. This is one of the holes. I've already dug them. This is another one. We have already prepared the holes here where we're going to be putting them. Look at it. It's about, give or take, I'll say maybe around 20 inches deep. 20-25 inches deep. Why I do that is so that the suckers can be very firm to the ground, so we don't have issues of the sucker bending to one side or falling down. So that's why we do it this way. These are suckers here, so I'll be taking one and I'll be putting it in the hole. So I'll just pause the video for a second here. Okay, so we just introduced one of these suckers into the soil here. So what we're just going to be doing is the simplest part. Just fill it with sand. Just take your sand and fill it. If you have poultry dumpings that are dried, you can also introduce it while you're putting your banana sucker. It helps it as well. But in this case, I won't be doing that. So this is how it's going to be. I'm going to be just doing that. I'll cover it after this, but I'll just take a step backwards so you can see what it looks like. This is what it will look like. So we're just going to put more sand there, and that's it. That's how you do this. That's how you plant your banana suckers. I hope we learned something here. You can ask your questions. Please do well to like, subscribe, follow for more information on this. With this now, we're looking in the next 3 weeks, we should be seeing this banana grow and get its roots formed in the soil. Thank you guys.